Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about catching feelings for someone else while you're in a relationship. So this is a question from a viewer. And the question is, could you do a video on catching feelings for someone else while already being in a long-term relationship? So the first point that I want to make, and I made this in the previous video, and that is attraction isn't a choice. So if you're, going to work or you're going to school and you're already in a long-term relationship and you find someone who you're at work with or you're at school with that you find attractive, there's not really much you can do about it because, there are some people out there that you're just going to be attracted to. It's not something that you can really help. Because I feel like there's like this notion that when we're in a long-term relationship or we're married, we're not supposed to be attracted or get crushes on other people, which isn't true. You will probably find, like, if you're walking down the street and you see a beautiful woman or a handsome man, you're gonna feel attracted to them. If they're your type and there's something that you're attracted to, you just can't help it. You can't help but look at someone that you find really, really attractive. Obviously, I don't recommend looking too long if you're with your partner, but you can look at but don't touch. That's sort of like the saying there, the thing that should really be going on there. So attraction isn't a choice. So first of all, don't feel guilty if you find yourself being attracted to someone else who isn't your wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, because it is going to happen. You are going to look at someone and think, oh wow, yeah, they're really nice looking. That's just something that's just going to happen. You are going to be attracted to people, okay? So attraction isn't a choice, and that's a quote by David D'Angelo. But your actions are a choice, okay? So if you act on it, then you're being a cheater, right? If you ask for their number or you start DMing them, whatever, that's obviously not good and something that you don't want to dive into because that's not a very honourable thing to do. The honourable thing to do is if you're unhappy with your relationship, then you should obviously split from that relationship and then start pursuing someone new. But if you're happy in your relationship and you just get an attraction for someone else, then sometimes that sort of thing does happen. So you shouldn't feel guilty about it, but don't act on it, right? If you value the relationship you're in and you love your wife, your boyfriend, your husband, your girlfriend, whatever, if you love them, then you're not going to act on it, okay? So that means you're not going to message this person. You're not going to start flirting with this person. You're not going to cheat, basically. So one of the ways that you can help this is if you don't indulge in your feelings, okay? So in the past for me, whenever I got a crush, this was before I met my wife, I would daydream about them. I would listen to music that reminded me of them. So that's kind of how you start out when you have a crush on someone. You start really thinking about them a lot. You may look through their photos. You indulge in it, basically. You develop a slight crushy obsession with them. So basically, if you don't want to have those feelings develop into something stronger, like you start having love feelings towards them and feelings of wanting to be with them, then you need to not indulge in any of the kind of habits that could facilitate that, right? Because one of the reasons we get sometimes deep crushes on people is because we spend too much of our time thinking about them, or we look through their photos too much, or we watch whatever content they're putting out there too much, and we find songs that remind us of them and listen to them on a daily basis, right? You start fantasizing and daydreaming about them. Those are the things that you want to avoid doing. Now, of course, sometimes those things you can't really avoid doing sometimes, but you can catch yourself, right, and stop yourself from doing it too much. You can realize when you're thinking about someone too much and stop yourself from doing it. So it's all about self-control, right? So if you have a good amount of self-control, then this shouldn't be an issue for you. You should recognize and realize that, hey, yeah, there's a beautiful woman that I work with and I think she's really cute, but I'm not going to act on it, and I know in my heart I'm not going to act on it because I'm not going to indulge in my feelings in any way. So one of the cool things though about being attracted to people is, you know, you never have to act on it, you never have to follow through with it, but you can still use that energy for like inspiration. Because I remember I had a crush like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe even longer than that, maybe 7 years ago. I think maybe 7 years ago, yeah. And I used that as inspiration because I knew there was no way I would ever be with that person. I would never be with that woman. So I just used it as inspiration, and that really helped me for doing the things that I was doing back then when I was creating different things. So I used that as inspiration. So that's something you can do as well. Like, use that energy to make yourself better. You might use it for, you know, making yourself more pumped up at the gym, or you might use it to inspire you to create a piece of art or some sort of like project. You know, you can use that energy effectively because it is just still energy, their attraction. So you got to use it in a way that's not acting on it, not messaging them, not cheating, not indulging and fantasizing about them. But you can use that energy to like improve your game in whatever way. So let's say this is someone that you work with. Let's say it's a woman that you work with, right? And she makes you feel good inside, and she's really beautiful. And yeah, use that to inspire you to do better work while you're at work. You know, it might be something that can help propel you forward, and something like that. You know, it can help you do a better performance basically at what you're doing. So there's a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and he speaks about this. There's a whole chapter on it, and it's about you know, being able to use this energy. It could be the energy that you have for your wife, like because a woman can really inspire you. And that my wife really inspires me to do my best work and to put my best foot forward, right? And sometimes you can use that in the same way for other women that you may find attractive when you're, you know, out there in the world. You know, use that energy to put your best foot forward. And that's what basically Napoleon Hill talks about, because this is like sort of like it's a special kind of energy that helps inspire you. Because sometimes, you know, being self-motivated is not enough. Sometimes you need something that's inspirational, that can help move you forward, right? So one of those things for me is my wife. Like, the reason why I work so hard, I make so many videos, is because my wife inspires me, and I want us to have a better life. That's simply it, right? So, you know, you can use that for yourself. You know, maybe your partner inspires you, or maybe it's the other woman who inspires you. But as long as you're not acting on it and you're being honorable, then it should be all fine. So just use that energy and utilize it, right? Use it to create things, to make things, or to, you know, get really buff at the gym, or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in your life, okay? So another book that goes well into this is Way of the Superior Man by David Data. He talks about how sometimes you may want women who are like fiery. You know, you might be attracted to like a really spicy, fiery woman. And then other times you might be attracted to women that are nice and cool and sort of gentle and things like that, or a bit icy. You know, it's almost like you can put flavors to these sort of things. So he describes that sort of thing really well, and how you can use that energy to in more productive ways rather than destructive ways. Because the destructive way is to then cheat on your spouse. You know, that's the destructive thing that you can do with that. Or you can use it as, you know, to build something, to create something, right? But don't indulge, right? Don't indulge in fantasizing about being with them, because that's not going to help, and that's just going to make you want to cheat on your spouse. So it's all about self-control and being able to use that energy in a wise way as opposed to a destructive way. Okay, so don't feel guilty about finding other women or guys, whatever it may be, attractive. Don't worry about that sort of thing, because you can't help being attracted to people and thinking, oh yeah, that person's good looking. You can't help that. It's just something that's in you, right? And we all know that. We all know we can't really help those things. But you can, obviously, help your choices and how you act and how you behave, okay? So that's my advice on that sort of thing. So if you'd like to get coaching with me and you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.